Welcome! Today we'll be going through my 10, yes, my top 10 favorite games in my personal collection. Yes, these don't have to be like favorite games or like games that I'm really like over the moon, like oh my, it's just 10 just favorite pieces to own in my personal collection. So before we get into my top 10, let's do some honorable mentions. We have two honorable mentions in this video. Number one is the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Man, I love the Smash Bros. Franchise. It's like my favorite game of all time. Like my favorite franchise. And I play a lot of Ultimate. Like during a lot of my spare time when I just got, you know, like few minutes, 30 minutes, I just throw this in, play a few rounds, and I have fun with it. And then another honorable mention is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom on the PlayStation 2. Yes, I picked the PlayStation 2 one over the Switch PS4 version because the PS2 version is way better. I own it on the Switch. Yes, I own Rehydrated. It's crap. The controls are bad. It doesn't feel the same. I played the PS4 version. It's not as good either. So that's why I picked the PS2 version. So these are my honorable mentions. Now let's go into my top 10. Starting at number 10, we have for PS1, Battle Hunters. Some of you might not know this game, but this is like a kind of like a great hidden gem. If you're into RPGs or more so tactical RPGs or strategy RPGs, this is the type of game for you. I really love this game. I remember when this game came out, I begged my parents. I begged my dad to take me to my local game store because I didn't even buy this at the... Back in the days when this came out, I didn't buy this at like a Walmart or a EB Games or like Toys. I went to my local game store and I'm like, I want this. This game I want. And I got it and I played the hell out of this game. And I've probably beaten this game more than once over. And I really love this game. And I highly recommend if you're into tactical or strategy RPGs, pick this one up definitely if you love the PS1. Now, number 9. We don't have it complete here, but this, I did have this. And by the way, what I'm showing you here, aside to like a couple of games, these are all my original copies, which, by the way, this, I wish I kept everything with it, because this is the way I liked it, which is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, but not just any version of Budokai 3, the Collector's Edition. I really loved it, because when this came out, I begged my dad. I traded 3 games just so that I can get this. Because back in the days, games were like $59.99, right? This collector's edition was $79.99. So I begged and begged and begged. And I traded 3 games to get this game for $39.99. Now, in the end, my dad explained it to me, you know, that we've already paid like for those games. So we're not getting much of it. But anyways, it was games I never played. But I begged and begged to somehow get the collector's edition because it came with this, which I really wanted. It came with a Dragon Ball, which I wish I kept, the big outer case, which I wish I kept, and a mini Broly figure that was exclusive to the Budokai 3, which I wish I kept. The Broly, I remember I played with a lot of my Dragon Ball Z figures, and it broke, so I threw it out. But I wish I kept the outer box and the Dragon Ball. But overall, out of all the Budokai games, not the Tenkaichi, just Budokai games, this is actually my second favorite Dragon Ball Z game out of the Dragon Ball franchise of games. So yeah, the Collector's Edition goes in at number 9. At number 8, we have my favorite wrestling game. Now, I play the more current, modern WWE games because, you know, there's a lot more to do and things. But I do like from time to time going back to older games, and this one is my favorite. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. This is an amazing game. This is the first, like, revolutionized the wrestling game where you could do so many things that, you know, it's out of this world, feels like a video game, but I really love it. This will be at number 8. My number 8 choice. Now at number 7, I wasn't really the biggest fan of this until I got a little older, and then I realized, no, I actually like it. So I don't have the whole series, but if I did, I would put number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 together as a bundle. So that is Silent Hill 2. I love that I own Silent Hill 2. But again, like I said, if I had 1, 3, and 4, I would put all of them together at number 7 as a package. Because I like all of them equally. And only the numbered franchise. But yeah, if you haven't played Silent Hill and you love horror games, well, Silent Hill is a very, very good horror franchise to go into. All right, number 6. At number 6, we have. I would have put both of them in this, but because I only own the one, I'll only put the one, and that is the Pokemon 3rd generation, Pokemon Sapphire and Pokemon Ruby. I remember when I was a kid, I really wanted Ruby, but Ruby sold out because I like Groudon over Kyogre, but I still have my original copy, by the way. But if I had Ruby, I would put both of them together because this is my favorite generation for Pokemon, and I played the hell out of this, and I beat this more times than any other Pokemon games. And yes, I grew up with Pokemon when it first came out, but I really, really loved Gen 3. So this is my number 6 favorite piece in my collection. Now we go into number 5. Number 5, my 5th favorite thing is Hollow Knight. When it first came out, I got the game. I played it halfway through, then I sold it. I regretted selling it. Then I re-picked it up, and this is like my favorite modern game. Literally, out of every modern game, this is my favorite modern game. It has an amazing soundtrack. It has amazing gameplay. I'm gonna admit it. I'm not the biggest Metroidvania style fan. I can't stand Metroidvania style games, but for some reason, Hollow Knight I love to death. The soundtrack is amazing. The way the game was drawn out, the art style, the gameplay mechanics, the things you do in there, the unlockables, the weapons, the abilities, the story, everything I love about it. So this one is my favorite current modern gen game. Number 4. My 4th is my favorite of favorite Dragon Ball Z games, and that is the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Yes, I love the Tenkaichi 3 game a lot. Now, yes, I know if you're going to talk about why Tenkaichi 3 was heavily loved was because of it had every character up until this point. It had every stage, every planet, every moveset, every fusion, every items, you know. But now when you look at the new Sparking the new Budokai Tenkaichi or Budokai Sparking Zero, however you want to call it, that one has every character, like up to, like it has every Budokai Tenkaichi 3 character, but it also has every super character and every other new characters. But personally, I'm still gonna stick with this as my favorite of favorite Dragon Ball Z games of all time. And I am glad that I picked this up way before the price came, you know. So this is my favorite and the one Dragon Ball Z game I put the most hours in. If you haven't played Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and you love fighting games, definitely, even if you're not a Dragon Ball Z fan, this is a great 3D fighting game. It's very good, trust me. Now we go into number 3, my favorite game of all time. Well, like I said, my favorite franchise is Smash Bros, but this is my favorite of the Smash Bros, and that is Super Smash Bros. Melee. When I was young, this is the game I put the most hours into. When I say most hours, I mean like as far as fighting game goes, and even when, you know, I had PS3, PS4 was still, I still put hours into Melee. And even at school, back in high school, we had a little hub club where they would actually have a Super Smash Bros. Melee setup, and we'd always have 4-player winner stays on type matches. So yeah, I really loved playing the hell out of this, and this is my favorite out of all the Smash Bros. Games. Now we're going into my top 2. My top 2 pieces. One of them is a Grail piece. Now let me, before we go into my top 2, let me explain. One of my favorite pieces is not in the collection because it's very hard to find and it's always been expensive. If this was in there, this would probably take number 2 spot, and I would probably take out, you know, I take out my number 10 spot, and that is the Futurama the video game. I've been looking everywhere for Futurama the video game. So if that would be in my personal collection, that would be, because that is one of my 2 Grail pieces, which I've already got one of my Grail pieces. So I'm just giving you a heads up before we go into number 2, is that the Futurama the video game for the PlayStation 2 would be my number 2. But here is my number 2 pick. My number 2 favorite piece, and that is Dragon Ball Z Advanced Adventure for the Game Boy Advance, and this one is sealed. And no, some of you might be looking at this like, oh, you only put that in there because of how rare and expensive it is. No, actually not. this is actually one of my 3 Grail pieces. Yes, I know. I said this is my favorite Dragon Ball Z game. But this, to me, isn't considered a Grail because it's not rare. It's not even rare at all. I'll tell you that right now. This game is not. You see this in almost every video game store. Back in the days, I used to see tons of these sitting at the EB Games and Toys R Us's and Walmart. So I'm just trying to let you know. This isn't rare. So this game to me, isn't considered a Grail. To me, a Grail would be something that's considered uncommon or rare and you really, really wanted. Now, obviously, your most wanted piece or your favorite piece is a different story. So this, to me, is a Grail piece of mine because, again, of how rare it is. But it's something I've been looking for a long time, and I got it in sealed. Now, if I had a CIB copy, I'd be happy with it too. But I'm glad to have picked this up many years ago before this thing became like one of the most expensive, literally one of the most expensive Game Boy Advance games. Like, if you want to know for reference, I'll give you a reference for anyone who's wondering. Just a heads up, we're going to sidetrack here from top 10 favorite pieces. Is this game, CIB, a few months ago, I've seen a couple of videos at a big convention in the U.S. Someone picked it up for $1,000, not sealed, CIB. Think about that, CIB. You know, I saw someone talking about that they had a sealed copy, and they said not one sealed copy has ever surfaced or sold. And here it is, right here. And I've talked to people. For anyone, I'm just giving you guys a reference here. For anyone who wants to know, this could be worth $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. This could be worth. I've even heard some people say, if the right group of people show up, Game Boy Advance collectors, rarity whores, Dragon Ball Z game whores, you know, this can go as much as 10,000 plus. But realistically, I probably say 2,000, 3,000. But the money means nothing to me. I'm just happy I managed to pick up a sealed copy before the prices shot up, and because this was, again, one of my Grail pieces. Now, my number one is my number one favorite piece of all time, and my most wanted Grail piece of all. It's more than the Futurama, the video game, and that is, for some of you who don't know, the AKB48 PSP set. Now, this is missing the PSP. Now, don't worry. I'll give you a heads up. When I went to Japan, I found 2 more of these. Now, one of it was complete. The other one was missing one of the games and missing the booklet. So even though when I converted it, it was like $20 or something, I was like, it's still not worth it because it's missing 2 of the pieces. Now, but obviously, most of them are missing the PSP because the PSP is the harder piece to find out of all of these, because the PSP came with it, yes, but not in it. It came like with it as a separate piece, you know, like together it was a set where you get the PSP and this, which is harder, and the PSP I'm looking for. So, by the way, if anyone has the AKB48 PSP, and I'm looking for a complete in the box, please hit me up. It has to be working, and all the stickers have to be unused, and the plastic still has to be with the stickers. I will buy the complete just to complete this. This was like a piece I've been looking for many years, and I finally got it, and I'm happy to get this. So please let me know if you have the PSP, complete in the box, unused sticker, still with the plastic. I will take it. But yeah, this has everything in here. And by the way, this is brand new. This copy here that I got is brand new. And it's because when I went to Japan, the 2 copies I saw, they weren't brand new at all. I even saw a couple more in like video game stores when I was there. They were brand new. So I'm happy to have this. And this, if anyone who's seen videos, has proudly been displayed up here since I got it in 2023. So this is my favorite and my biggest Grail piece. Oh, here's my 10 favorite items, with the exception of not having the Futurama, the video game, in there. So I replaced it with a different item. But here it is, my 10 favorite pieces in my collection. Oh, and if you've made it this far, look behind you. If you've made it this far into the video, look behind you. This will be very different soon. I promise you it'll be different because I am downsizing and selling off a lot of my personal collection. Yes, you heard that right. Right now, if I show you my PlayStation 2 collection, it went from being 2 rows because how my shelf works is I put them on top of each other because I don't have like separate shelves for them like this. It's like a glass cabinet. So I've already got rid of the whole top row of it. So they're gone. There's like more than like 15, 16 games that I off the top row gone. You know, this shelf here, other than my wrestling games that are gonna stay, there's a lot of it that's going. So if you made it this far to this video, you've learned something that I am downsizing my personal collection. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what are your 10 favorite pieces that you own. It could be because it's rare, because it's expensive, it's because it's a grail piece of yours, just your most wanted items, doesn't matter. Whatever you feel like it's your top 10 favorite games, and it doesn't even have to be games. It could be like this, this thing. Technically this is not like a set like this. It could be a console if it's your favorite piece. It could be, anything video game related. Let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, remember, as always, enjoy life. Keep on collecting, and we'll see y'all for another video.